Hey, everybody. Welcome to a special Monday edition of Breakfast All Day. Matt and Christy, Alonso, we're here to talk about those Academy Award nominations that came out this morning because they matter to somebody, I guess. So we're doing
They matter to us.
Yeah, sure.
I was awake. Were you awake?
I was awake only because I had insomnia. Like I got up at this almost never happens to me, but about 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't know if it's because daylight savings threw me off, but I could not go back to sleep. So I was up on the I was sitting on the sofa, and then around 5:30, I started seeing early Twitter reactions. I was like, oh, I guess I should just go read this now. So I've been tweeting about the Oscars since 5:45 this morning, and not because I intended to.
It's just such a strange world in which we live because as we all know, and Matt and I, we used to go in person, you used to go to the Academy and it was super early and they had a breakfast buffet, but it was this really fun kind of buzz to be in that giant Academy theater and there are publicists who will like clap wildly if like their one little tiny short, animated short got nominated. Anyway, it's a fun morning and then you walk out and the sun is shining. So now we all do it from our couch.
But the best thing about going there, because they haven't posted this on the site, but the best thing about going is they hand out the little packet of superlatives, which is like, this is the first so-and-so that got nominated for such and such. Like all that stuff, all the stats, that stuff's super handy.
So helpful,
Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah, I saw Mark Harris said that Chloe Zhao was a 4-time nominee today, and I guess I missed one of those.
Picture, director, screenplay.
And do we know?
Editor? Or...
I don't know.
I'll have to look. Okay.
And we'll look it up. Anyway, so Oscar nominations today. Mank got the most with 10, including picture, director for David Fincher, actor for Gary Oldman, supporting actress for Amanda Seyfried, cinematography, costume design. Interestingly, it did not get a screenplay nomination for a movie about a legendary screenwriter played by Gary Oldman, who got nominated. So it's kind of weird.
Read into that what you'll. By the way, editing is the 4th nomination for Chloe Zhao.
Good for Chloe Zhao. So that was kind of expected in that it's a movie about Hollywood, and Hollywood loves to pat itself on the back. So that makes a lot of sense. So that makes sense. Your other Best Picture nominees are Judas and the Black Messiah, The Father, Minari, Nomadland, Promising Young Woman, Sound of Metal, which I'm surprised got into the Best Picture, and The Trial of the Chicago 7. So that's 8. They could have had 10 and they had 8. It's all math.
I'm sorry. I've never seen what the big deal about The Trial of the Chicago 7 is, and I don't know why. Safe. I don't get it. I mean, I suppose it let me, it's so political. And
but you know what? But Aaron Sorkin didn't get a director nomination.
And good, because it's not a good movie. And and Thomas Vinterberg got a slot, and I'm excited about that.
I was going to say the director nominees line up with the DGAs, except for the spot that Aaron Sorkin got at the DGAs went to Thomas Vinterberg for another round. I would like to have seen Mads Mikkelsen get nominated for Best Actor for another round, but that didn't happen. So a few historic things happened today. So in Best Director, we have 2 women. We have the first woman of color ever in Chloe Zhao to get a Best Director nomination. Also Emerald Fennell for Promising Young Woman. David Fincher, as we mentioned, for Mank. Lee Isaac Chung for Minari. And what am I missing?
Fincher and Vinterberg and Fincher, Vinterberg, Chung, and the 2 women. That's the 5.
Okay. Yes. So go ahead.
Yeah. One of the things I had seen was that this is for Emerald Fennell. This is the first time a woman has been nominated for Best Director with her directorial debut. And I believe that it's also the first time we've had 2 directors of Asian descent nominated for Best Director.
Yeah, and the first time with 2 women. Yeah, and Emerald Fennell also got a screenplay nomination for Promising Young Woman. So that's an amazing day for her. Minari got 6, including picture, director. Stephen Yeun got nominated. Yun Yu Jung got nominated. And sadly, not young Alan S. Kim. But the score, that beautiful score from Minari. Here's a weird thing. In the supporting actor category, you have Lakeith Stanfield and Daniel Kaluuya from Judas and the Black Messiah. Now, one of them plays Judas. One of them plays the Black Messiah. Who is a lead if they're both supporting?
So I believe that the Academy themselves had said, and based on some of the ads and stuff, Warner Brothers had been pushing for Stanfield to get Best Actor, not Best Supporting.
The Academy doesn't say, the studio pushes in whatever.
But they were right. Their campaign was for Best Actor, but the acting branch put him in at Best Supporting.
It makes no sense. So now they have to compete against each other. I mean, I would argue that Lakeith is a lead and that Daniel Kaluuya is supporting.
Though I could see a lot of people in their heads as they're filling out the form saying, well, shit, it's going to be Boseman for Best Actor this year.
Right.
But it could have been Boseman for supporting actor if there had been more of a push for Da 5 Bloods. So,
which got nothing, right?
But
Delroy Lindo is your, I hate the word snub, but that is shocking.
Dude was robbed.
Snub implies they all sat in a room and decided we're going to fuck this guy. But Terrence Blanchard's score got nominated for The 5 Bloods, so there was at least that. But
it's weird. We also have Riz Ahmed and Paul Raci in Sound of Metal, which is great. That's very exciting. You have Glenn Close for Mama. This is the first time I believe that an actor or actress has been nominated for both a Razzie and an Oscar for the same role.
It is the third, actually.
For the same role?
Yes. James Coco in Only When I Laugh and Amy Irving in Yentl. Amy Irving in Yentl deserves more respect than this. I don't know what the Razzies.
It's not that bad.
You know, the problem with the Razzies anymore, it's so frustrating. Like, they're just doing the same kind of tired gags, right?
Yeah.
Like that could be, they could be really sharp if they wanted to be, but it's just like, they just, low hit, like the obvious gags.
Yeah.
It's shtick. Jared Leto did not get nominated today for the little things. He kept getting nominated for stuff. But one thing that is very exciting is apparently the Oscar campaign out of the tiny town of Husavik, Iceland.
I knew you'd be thrilled about that.
And
the tiny town of Husavik.
Yeah, ding dong.
Right.
But the tiny town of Husavik and Netflix. Let's not forget.
Right. They had some help in the production department and their little campaign. I still think that Volcano Man's a better song, but whatever. I'm happy to see Husavik get nominated.
I was mad they didn't nominate any of the songs from Jingle Jangle, and actually the one that I thought was the best one didn't even get shortlisted. But the one that John Legend co-wrote did, and it didn't make it all the way.
So The Father, we talked about The Father last week, I want to say, and how lovely both the editing and production design were. Those both got nominated. Tenet, which is a movie that we spoke about a lot over the past year. Yeah, it only got a couple things: visual effects and production design. Weird. Yeah, I mean, no.
It wasn't going to get screenplay.
No, or performances, but I mean, like, I was thinking maybe editing.
Editing, yeah, that car chase is,
So there's that. Leslie Odom Jr. got 2 nominations today, both for supporting actor from One Night in Miami and also for best original song from that film. Would have been nice to see Regina Hall get nominated for director.
King.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. Pardon me, Regina King.
I do that all the time.
Yeah, sorry.
Or Shaka King, for that matter.
Yeah. And then Sasha Baron Cohen also got 2 nominations today. One for his Borat screenplay. He's among like a half dozen people who got nominated for
9. It's a record, yeah.
For Borat, the Borat sequel. A largely improvised film needs 9 screenwriters apparently. And then also for supporting actor for Trial of Chicago 7, Maria Bakalova in her first film ever.
I think, yeah.
Got nominated for supporting actress. And that I think is very well deserved because she holds this film together. A couple things I would like to have seen. Not a single nomination for First Cow.
Nope. And I was thinking, like, when this year first went ass over tea kettle, I thought, well, maybe the First Cow, this is its moment to shine. But they managed to find enough sort of mediocre middlebrow Oscar bait movies to shove in there instead. So
I mean, cinematography, you think. Anyway, also a movie that go ahead.
I was very glad to see Andra Day get her nomination for the United States versus Billie Holiday. She turns in such a great performance there.
Also a record, only the second time that 2 Black women have been nominated in the same year for Best Actress. The last time it happened was when Cicely Tyson was nominated for Sounder and Diana Ross was nominated for playing Billie Holiday in Lady Sings the Blues.
Interesting. And you have in Viola Davis and in Andra Day, you have women playing real life singers,
yeah.
tormented R&B, blues, jazz singers, larger than life characters. So there's something kind of meaty and showy there. But they are both amazing, and I am glad I don't have to pick between them. And then, of course, a movie that I love dearly that has not gotten a single fucking thing all year long is The Nest. People, have you seen Carrie Coon's performance? Have you seen this movie? Have you seen the screenplay? It's amazing to me.
I'm with you. I have to say, for all the bitching that I do about the Academy Awards, my favorite film of 2020 was Collective. And it got nominated for foreign and international. So it's like,
that's really interesting. And that's a rare thing too when that happens.
I think it's never happened before.
Has it never?
I mean, I think that docs have been nominated for foreign film, but I don't think that a movie has gotten both those nominations in the same year. I could be wrong. Okay. But I think that might be a first. I was kind of hoping that Welcome to Chechnya was going to pull out a doc nomination and a visual effects nomination, but it got neither, unfortunately.
Yeah, Another Round is also up for not just best director, but best foreign language film. That was, I was disappointed by some of the stuff in there. I would have liked to have seen Regina King, definitely. But, it's also a really interesting look at what the nominations are like when you've got none of the meet and greet campaigns. Right. True. That's a thing that happens every year, right? Like it happens before the nominations. And I think it happens after the nominations too. Like there's a whole little Q&A talk and little like meet and greet, get together and see blah, blah, blah. Like
one celeb throws a party on behalf of another one.
Right. Like the schmooze thing, which is super fun. But none of that's happening.
Well, I think, in the way that we've probably all gotten at least one of the Netflix boxes at some point where they try and sort of make an at-home premiere and they send you a box that has like a bottle of champagne and some, fancy, gourmet popcorn or whatever in it. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of that going around this year.
I didn't get any fancy popcorn.
Oh?
I got not a single thing. I got not a single thing from Netflix.
You live too far away.
I think it is somewhat telling though, in a environment where we can't, so many people can't go out to see screenings in theaters. There's been nothing. You do see a lot of nominations for both Netflix and Amazon Prime films. And I can't help but wonder how much of that is that it's super easy for people to screen those movies as opposed to some of the other stuff.
Matt, I don't know if you get these screeners at the end of the year, but Christy and I generally do for LA Film Critics. And this year, the only people almost who sent out physical disc screeners were the streaming services. So like I got all these discs of Netflix and Amazon movies that I could be watching anyway, but like, so I'm sure for older members who maybe don't subscribe or don't deal with them that much, that absolutely helped.
Every year. Yeah.
Well, and as you're talking about that, go ahead, Christy, because I have a whole other different.
Okay, I was going to say that every year Neon puts out a big box, like a brick that you've opened. And also, I believe that Sony Pictures Classic still does like the individually wrapped little DVDs. Yeah.
And maybe Magnolia might have, but like an A24, like a few people did this year, but it used to be in normal years, like Disney and Paramount or whoever would be sending us like these cardboard sleeves.
I'm not a fancy LAFCA member like you guys are.
Exactly. We're so fancy, man.
I forgot to mention also the Hillbilly Elegy, besides Glenn Close's performance, also got makeup and hairstyling for transforming her into Mama, which I thought was super over the top. And then you see the photos during the credits and I was like, oh shit, they really captured Mama there.
Yeah. And actually the people who the team for, I want to say Ma Rainey's, this is the first year that that Black women have been nominated in the hair and makeup category.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah.
I was surprised to see that we didn't get costume nods for Coming to America. Maybe that's because it was after the deadline. Maybe
because it just came out like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Maybe next year.
Because I think end of February was the cutoff. So yeah, next year for sure. Because Ruthie Carter having just won, I'm sure she's they've got a foothold there. I mean there were some pleasant surprises and a lot of like, but I think overall, yes, obviously the fact that of the 16 acting nominees, only 4 of them are white Americans. That's a step in the right direction. The fact that like movies, even though I'm not the biggest fan of either of them, the fact that movies like Minari and Promising Young Woman are a big part of the conversation, I think absolutely is a step forward. Again, though, this is the 2020 is always going to have an asterisk behind it. I think, I wonder if in a historical context, people can be like, well, West Side Story was supposed to come out that year, and In the Heights was supposed to come out that year, and whatever else they got, that was sort of awardsy that got pushed back, so it's gonna be like, do these even count? Is this the year that everybody's doing the knee push-ups and not the foot push-ups? I don't know.
Whatever. I mean, shit gets pushed back all the time anyway, even without a pandemic, right? So,
right, but a lot of them this year.
No, I hear you. One of the things I think about kind of for both the present and the future of just the way the awards get done is one, and I know I think we talked about this a little while ago. I think that the Academy should absolutely let us know who's voting, like name by name.
All 9,000 of them.
Yeah. Like, why not? Right. I mean, yes, we do get, we know who's been invited every year, but there's still thousands of people that we don't know who they are. The other thing that I think about a little bit too, and this is like way off on a tangent, as we get more and more comfortable, a lot of people in the media, especially, discussing non-binary performers.
Yeah.
At what point does the idea of splitting up actor versus actress change?
No, that's a thing that's come up. I bet you whatever happens, the Spirit Awards do it first.
Yeah.
Guarantee you. And then the Academy will eventually sort of be like, okay, I guess this is a thing now. And then they'll get around to doing it. But no, you're right. That's absolutely, I think, on the table. I always throw this out because, at this time of year, I think about it. We're coming up on the 100th anniversary. These things started in like 1928 for the films of 27, 28. I would love it if the Academy would, after 100 years passes, show us the voting tallies. Who got how many votes? Who was, what order did they come in? What was it? A near tie? Everyone will be dead. Why not tell us?
Yeah.
They should do that now.
There's such a behemoth organization, and despite membership changes to reflect what the world actually looks like, they're still in a lot of ways rather staid, as evidenced by all the nominations you see for Mank and The Trial of Chicago 7. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with them, but those are very traditional Academy Award nominees. And I don't know, it might be many years down the road before they're willing to like make that kind of shift elsewhere.
Well, look, I think given how much they're about history and legacy and that kind of thing, it's like, I think 100 years is a nice round number. You're not going to be offending anybody. You're not going to be going, look at you, loser. You came in 5th, they're all dead. Why not?
That movie got no votes.
Exactly.
It's, we talked about the older demo there. And up until today, I would have thought like, oh yeah, Nomadland's got the momentum. It's going to win everything. She's going to take Best Director. It'll be Best Film. But 10 nominations for Mank reminds us all that like, oh right, a bunch of these dudes knew Mank. And like...
Or no, they like a nice reach around that talks about how Hollywood is the center of the universe. Like movies like that always do well with this crowd. But Steve Pond of TheWrap made an interesting observation because he really like takes the big picture here, and it's like he's like Promising a Woman and Nomadland have like check all the boxes that you want for your best picture, and that there's a screenplay nomination and also an editing nomination, and like Minari doesn't have an editing nomination, and Mank doesn't have a screenplay nomination. Like all the other films don't hit all those points. So it's kind of, if you look at it from that perspective, and who knows what can happen, or what whisper campaigns will be now that we're doing them online. But Nomadland and Promising Young Woman are sort of the hot contenders at the moment.
I think the 2021 version of the whisper campaign is going to be the DM campaign.
There you go. The text group.
Right.
Anyway, so we have a little more than a month before the Oscars. They're on April 25th. We learned today that they are going to take place from both the Dolby Theater at Hollywood and Highland, where they always do, but also Union Station in downtown LA, the historic Union Station, but they're not going to shut it down. Like, people are still going to be like going to and fro and making their connections while the Oscars are going on. Maybe they'll like pull someone aside and say, "Hey, can you give out best visual effects?" Or
like, I get Union Station. Like, if you're looking for a place where people are going to be distanced, I mean, sure, it's glamorous old LA, and people can be very far apart from each other. But if you're not closing it, if people are going to be getting off of like the commuter trains or whatever, like,
right. And what's silly about that?
I guess it'll be slow. I don't know.
Well, what's silly about that is we know from like a Star Wars premiere, it's not like there's not two other huge theaters right by the Dolby Theater, right? There's the Chinese and the El Cap, right? So you could do multiple stages, but no, let's send people down to Union Station.
Yeah, no, and when at those Disney things, they'll block off Hollywood Boulevard, and like you could tent the whole block basically, and yeah, that would make much more sense.
When we go into news here in a second, which we might be on the verge of doing, we've got a couple little news items, but one of them is the Grammys were last night here in LA, and what they did them in a really cool way. They did them. Did you guys watch the Grammys last night at all? No. Okay. So usually they're at Staples, right? But they couldn't do it at Staples Center indoors. So they built like a whole big open air tent situation across Chickhearn Boulevard from Staples. So you could still see it in the distance, but it was like little tables for two. So like Billie Eilish and Phineas were at a table, and like Beyonce and Jay-Z were at a table, and they're all scattered, and like Taylor Swift and Jack Antonoff were at a table, and they're all wearing masks, which were super matchy with all their dresses, by the way. Taylor Swift had like the exact floral pattern on her face as she had on her body. But it was really like elegant.
I don't have masks that match Hawaiian shirts.
Every outfit I have.
Of course you do.
I mean, come on.
And it's preppy tiki chic. You got to do all that. So, but it was so much smoother than the Golden Globes. And they had performances and speeches, and it was great. So I think maybe there's a way to like still do it and be of the world. I don't know.
Isn't Soderbergh producing the show this year?
Yes, he is one of the producers.
Okay, that could
just to be all out of order.
Right. Like,
you can go in your app and choose if you want to follow Sharon Stone through the awards.
Right.
Or,
right. The blue filter, you can follow that section.
Right.
Red filter.
Jump cuts, they'll be talking about Best Picture and showing the Best Actress nominees.
Like, Meryl Streep will be on the Queen Mary 2, giving out something.
Exactly. Really cool David Holmes soundtrack.
And he's going to shoot it all on an iPhone.
I love it. Any more thoughts on Oscars, things we would have liked to have seen or we're happy about, or can we move on?
Yay, Shaun the Sheep of Farmageddon.
Yes. Listen,
that was a cute movie.
Yes, the animated category, Nick and I realized he'd seen all 5 of them. It's Wolfwalkers, Soul, Shaun the Sheep, Onward, and Over the Moon.
Yeah.
I would assume Soul's going to win that.
Probably, yeah. There's a lot of like really interesting indie and international animation that I don't follow enough, but the people that I do follow like are always talking about, and I feel like they left a lot on the table for like Onward and Over the Moon. I mean, whatever.
Which are not very good. I mean, Onward's okay. Over the Moon's just terrible. But Wolfwalkers is what we chose at LA Film Critics as our best animated picture.
Yeah, so, love Wolfwalkers, love Farmageddon. Those were both runners up to my top 10 list. So, and Soul for that matter, I think. So,
Soul, I think Soul is great. Oh, also, and people who got nominated twice today, Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross did the score for both Mank and Soul.
Oh, interesting.
And then John Batiste did all the jazz music in Soul.
But Kemp Powers got nominated for his One Night in Miami script, but not his Soul script.
Oh, but is he not among the nominees for animated? I guess not.
I think animated goes to producers.
Anyway,
or directors,
but not writers. Never writers. Poor bastards.
April 25th. I assume we're going to talk about the Oscars again before then at some point, whether you boys want to or not.
I guess. Fine, Mom.
I guess we'll take that as a warning.
Anyway, we should do a couple little news items, and then eventually we will get on to the reason probably a lot of you are here today, which is to hear us do an early review of the Snyder Cut. We will talk about that today. A couple of quick things in news. Yes, the Grammys were last night. Beyonce made history. She's the female artist with the most Grammys ever with 28. She has now surpassed Alison Krauss, who had 27. There was a Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion performance last night. Yikes.
I heard.
What do you tell your kids? How to talk to your children about wet ass pussy? It's confusing. It was very confusing.
I think you just tell them.
I think you need to have that conversation at some point or other anyway.
I mean, it was very, very sexy, but on the West Coast, it's like 6 o'clock in the evening. It's on your TV.
Well, I mean, I imagine they did the CBS friendly version, right? Or what?
They're like humping each other. At one point, they're like almost scissoring and humping each other in their performance. I mean, it was very hot, but I'm like, ooh, it's kind of early in the evening. If you're watching the Grammys, if they like Taylor Swift, your kids like the Taylor Swift and they like the Billie Eilish and the Harry Styles, but anyway, it was very.
This is
sexy.
more of an after 7:30 kind of performance. You're saying
it was very hot.
It's really never too early for.
Also, can I just be really old and lame for a second? How the actual name of the song? How is it pronounced? Is it WAP or WAP? How do you say it?
Oh, I always thought it was WAP. I don't know.
Oh, is it just okay?
I don't know.
Yeah, I thought that was either that or wet ass pussy.
You don't say like it as a word. It's not an. I mean, you don't say.
It seems problematic.
No, I don't say
It
lol.
does. It does. It does. That's why I ask. I don't want to say something wrong. WAP. Anyway,
Yes.
They did the song last night.
Okay, good for them.
Very exciting. But they had like cute little performances.
It will annoy Tucker Carlson. I'm happy about that.
Because he's done with Woody Woodpecker and who was who's the
Dr.
who's the
Seuss
mouse?
and Pepe Le Pew.
No, who's the mouse though?
Speedy Gonzalez.
Speedy Gonzalez. Thank you. They're done
Speedy
canceling.
Gonzalez
Speedy
is
Gonzalez.
no Slowpoke Rodriguez.
Anyway, so that was last night. If you were listening to our Patreon last week, we had breaking news at the end of our Patreon that J-Lo and A-Rod had broken up. We were all very saddened by that news. Apparently, though, they've told People Magazine that they are together and they are working on it. There are no traces in any of their social media that they have broken up or that they are staying together. They are not addressing this, but we remain on the J-Lo and A-Rod beat. There's that. Chris Harrison is out as host of The Bachelor.
I heard.
Yes. This is residual effects from the whole discussion he had about one of the contestants going to KA Old South. And anyway, but I feel like with him, he said and did all the right things to show contrition and to show that he was ignorant and he wanted to learn. And I wonder if it was just an opportunity to say like, hey, we've had this middle-aged white guy as the host for like 20 years. And here's a good opportunity to find somebody newer, fresher, cheaper, but also not an old white dude. I mean, middle-aged white dude.
Yeah. I mean, like Dancing with the Stars got rid of Tom Bergeron just cause, he didn't even say anything dumb. So, who knows?
Also, we here in Los Angeles County entered the red tier today. You can go to one of our old haunts, the AMC Century City today and see Nomadland or Promising Young Woman or News of the World.
Right. The Burbank AMC is also open.
Also open.
Those are the two big ones that are open. They're going to open the other 21 multiplexes by the end of the week.
All three of the Burbank AMCs?
No, I think the big 16.
The big one.
Oh, okay.
We have 23 out of the 56 AMC multiplexes here in Los Angeles. Out of the 56 in the state of California, we have almost half.
Wow.
In LA County. Okay. Anyway, I know how you guys both feel about going back to the movie theater. I'm not particularly excited about doing it just yet myself, but it is a thing that can be done starting today.
Okay.
And gyms and indoor dining. And my kid went back to school today. Oh, it was amazing for 2 whole hours.
Yeah, but how's the dog handling it?
He slept through the whole thing.
I think we've learned that really the only reason that school exists in the modern day is to like get kids out of their parents'
I mean,
hair.
it's childcare.
Yeah.
Right, so that people can go to work.
It was great. It was pouring rain here, and the high school cheerleaders were there with their little pom-poms to cheer the kids on and welcome them back. And it was nice. It was really good. A little bit of structure.
Okay.
There you go. So this is all my news that I have for you. And we will, of course, have more news on Friday. Yes. Also on Friday, our good friend Tim Grierson is going to be joining us to talk about his new book. It's called This Is How You Make a Movie. There it is. Alonso's got a copy of it right there. And so Tim's going to join us. He's going to do reviews with us. I don't know if he's going to do Patreon too. I'm not sure if he will have watched. We're going to do Falcon and the Winter Soldier for our Patreon next week, as well as I think a recap of Allen versus Pharaoh. Yes. I think he's going to join us for that. Anyway, but Tim will be here.
Spoiler review of...
And we're all going to do a spoiler review of the Snyder Cut. So today we're going to talk about it, but not spoil things. Like The Flash is fast, for example. We're not going to spoil that.
No.
Yeah, but in this one, he's really fast.
Now, are we, is this all going to be one big YouTube, or are we doing two separate ones?
We should do two separate ones.
Yeah. Okay, good. All right. Well, then thank you for watching. Like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and the other one, Twitter, at BeFastAllDay, and check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/BeFastAllDay. Like we were saying, we have lots of exclusive content for our subscribers. Gonna kick off our Falcon and the Winter Soldier coverage this week, so you're gonna want to be around for that. Oh, that was the other piece of news is I'm blanking now on his name. The actor who plays Malcolm X in One Night in Miami is going to be on the Disney Plus Secret Invasion show.
Kingsley Ben-Adir.
Oh, Kingsley Ben-Adir. Right. Thank you. Whose previous Disney Plus experience was?
Oh, I don't know.
He's the love interest in Noelle.
I don't even know what the hell Noelle is, Alonso.
Oh,
is it a Christmas movie?
It's a Christmas movie, but it was going to be released theatrically, but then it became a Disney Plus thing. It's got all the names are flying out of my head today. The girl from Up in the Air, who's on shows everywhere. She had a Quibi show, for God's sake. The Pitch Perfect actress. Come on, help me.
Anna Kendrick.
Anna Kendrick. Thank you, as Santa's daughter. Anyway, Kingsley Ben-Adir is going to be the bad guy on Secret Invasion. So that's going to be something to look forward to. And Sam Jackson is going to be on that show. And I forget who else, but that's going to be with the whole Kree Skrull thing. So something to look forward to. Anyway, but you only hear about Disney Plus stuff on Patreon. So if you want Patreon, go to patreon.com/BeFastAllDay and become a subscriber. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.